Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees kind of take a step back a little bit, dropped 2 out of 3 against the Chicago White Sox, but dealing a lot of issues, not only Nestor's shoulder, Judge's toe, but the Canadian wildfire smog. So a lot of the Yankees played there, able to salvage the final win, which could have been actually a disastrous series to lose to the White Sox. Again, kind of a team that's struggling well in the 500 in the Central area, but nevertheless, Yankees do take the last one, so you breathe a little bit sigh of relief, but don't breathe too heavy. There's still smog and air in New York. So get into all that. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. If it's your first time, long time listener, whoever it is, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and get notified when new content comes up throughout the rest of the season. So the Yankees have that great series against the Dodgers. Just probably one of the, again, more enjoyable wins for the Yankees. Not only have Judge going through the wall, but then, of course, the Sunday night game, you play a little bit of small ball and come away, taking 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers out there in LA. Again, 2 games, national games, Saturday night, Sunday night, ESPN night baseball, the whole deal. But of course, with the victories comes the consequences, and we kind of knew this was going to happen. First with Judge, turns out, obviously they sat him out in the final game against the Dodgers, and of course the first game against the White Sox, they was waiting on the MRI or I guess the toe scanning results, and turns out he sprained some ligament in the toe in question there, so he was put on the IL, which you knew was going to happen. But of course we get the other news that was a little bit unexpected, but expected because he just didn't seem like right. But Nestor, they eventually said yes, he also has to go on the IL. So 2 main cogs in the Yankee roster there on the IL for a while. And again, with Judge out, you knew the offense was going to struggle. And that's kind of been the most case with the Yankees throughout this White Sox series. You kind of knew that was going to happen. Now, obviously, make some moves. The Yankees brought up Johnny Brito, as well as former Yankee, you may recall, Bill McKinney. Now, the Yankees had him a couple of years ago. I believe he was part of the package that the Yankees sent to Toronto or so forth when they got Gio Urshela. I think it might have also included Bo Bichette, so a little package here for the Yankees. But he's back, and I guess since Judge had to go on the IL, open up, you need an outfielder, so Yankees felt comfortable, calling McKinney up, who was doing well in AAA, to hold it down the fort until Judge gets back. But again, without him there, you had a feeling, you knew the Yankee offense was going to struggle, and that was the case. Now, obviously, we had the situation where, you have the Nova Scotia wildfires, and, they kind of knew that this smog, these thick smoke was going to come and make its way with the weather patterns towards the East Coast. So it was present there during the first game of the series, and it kind of looked like a game that, it just looked like a fog. You get those games once in a while, just get a muggy August day where, it just rained or it's about to rain, and it kind of fogs up a little bit. Kind of looked like that a little bit. It was just kind of a dreary day. It was really dreary for the Yankee offense, who had absolutely nothing to show for. Scratched a couple of runs late in the game, and it's another hard luck loss for Clark Schmidt. Now, he did give up 2 home runs to Zavala, the catcher. Put the Yankees, in a 3-0 hole initially, third halfway of the game. But I don't really blame Schmidt at all for this one. And again, Schmidt has been pitching much better. Now his record dropped to 2-6, but he's been pitching much better than his record reflects this. Early on in the season, it was more Schmidt having innings where he was blowing up, but lately Schmidt has been good. Not saying he's been fantastic, but the Yankee offense really hasn't shown up for Schmidt a lot this season. So again, you look at that 2-6 record, it's not really fair. He probably should be more like, maybe 4-4, 4-3, something like that, if you want to be fair. I mean, he's pitched much better, and I've criticized him early, but he has picked it up a little bit. But nevertheless, the Yankees were trailing in the 9th inning. This game 3-1. Now Donaldson did hit a home run against Liam Hendricks. Again, he's back, if you may recall, his cancer battle, and he actually ended up earning his first save since coming back from cancer. So good news there. But unfortunately for the Yankees, the comeback was short, and the Yankees fell in the first game 3-2. And hey, look, Donaldson, his 3rd home run back, so has been making some good plays as well. So, hey, so far so good with him. And I said the spotlight's going to be on Donaldson, and so far it's been okay. So, hopefully he keeps it up there. But the Yankees dropped the first one. Now, the second game ended up being postponed because I guess the air was at its worst. It got to a point where in the afternoon, this thick, orange smog just came through the city. I mean, there was smog the whole last couple of days, but this was the real big one came through. And at that point, they just realized the air quality was so bad, you could not have fans in the stands. And of course, they've been encouraging people to mask up again and all that stuff. So not as a good situation. So they decided to push the game back one day and have a day-night doubleheader, a 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And it was really this middle game, which was probably the most annoying one of the Yankees. Now, Severino started, wasn't good, and now this is his second start in a row where he really hasn't been that terrific. Gave up a 2-run home run early on in this game, but the Yankees would claw their way back, would tie it in the 4th, thanks to a Willie Calhoun home run there. And then you took the lead on a Oswaldo Cabrera RBI single, give the Yankees initially a 5-4 lead. And you figure, with the Yankee bullpen, you felt comfortable that with King, but unfortunately, King ends up giving up a 2-run home run and swings the lead into the White Sox favor 6-5. But now this is the most frustrating part was the bottom of the 9th inning. Now the Yankees had 2 runners on, nobody out. Golden opportunity here with Gleyber up, who's getting been, for the most part, having a good season for the Yankees and usually kind of reliable. It runs the scoring position. It drives the ball a lot of times to right field there. It goes a little oppo power. Now, the bat was terrible for him. First of all, first pitch, it's way inside on his hand. First of all, it's the first pitch. So it's like you always just take a strike, unless it's right down the middle, take a strike. He takes a pitch right on his hands and just fouls it back. It's terrible. Next pitch is a breaking ball right down the middle. Like that's the one you should have been hitting. He takes it. Now he's in an 0-2 hole. He battles back. Now he has one high and away pitch where he actually hits the right field, and for a second it looks like it was going to be out of there. Just goes right of the right field foul pole for a foul ball there. So a loud strike, as you would say. It would have been nice if he poked it in, but cool. But a terrible bat. And then after that, he just pops up to the first baseman. And Rizzo comes up next, takes two balls, 2-0. You figure, all right, take a strike or something, get a good cut, get a good pitch. But hits this like pitch that was, it was kind of low and inside. It wasn't really a good pitch to swing at, and grounds out, inning double play. Again, the Yankees is blowing an opportunity there. You had 2 on with Torres. Just bad pitch selection by him. He's a veteran, but still, there's bad pitch selection there. The Yankees really blew an opportunity. They should have really came back and won that game. So nevertheless, they dropped that. And then you get to the point where the third game, you almost have to win this game. You don't want to say it too early in the season, but it's a White Sox team that was like 7 or 8 games on the 500. I know Judge is out, Beta's out. I get it, but you cannot get swept at home by this team. And luckily, the Yankee hot prospect pitcher, Randy Vasquez, came to the rescue against Mike Clevenger. And Clevenger, again, he was someone that possibly the Yankees were investigating as a trade possibility going back a couple seasons. So, he's always been on the Yankees' radar, but he's been dealing some injury issues. So Vasquez versus Clevenger. Turns out Randy Vasquez saves the day for the Yankees. Had an absolute brilliant game, pitched into the 6th inning, just giving up 2 hits and a walk. And at one point in the game, took down 15 batters in a row. Really got on a roll there for the Yankees. And the Yankee offense, wasn't great, but was just enough. 2-run home run by Gleyber Torres, and then Bill McKinney, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, making his return to the Yankees with a home run of his own to right field there. 3-0, and that would be your final score for the Yankees. Clay Holmes on in the 9th for the save. So the Yankee bullpen with Marinaccio and Holmes getting the job done. But again, the star of the game was Randy Vasquez in his second start. Now, he probably should have won the first game against the Padres there. It was scoreless in the 5th, and he gave the home run to Soto there, the 2-run home run. But again, his 2 starts so far, the Yankees have been great. And so he comes, at least save the day, at least salvage that last game, and you don't feel as bad. And, the Yankees move on for here. So they stay at home, going to host a different pair of Sox this time. It's the Red Sox come to town. And haven't been the same Red Sox, as Red Sox-Yankee rivalry of the past. But still, nevertheless, still the Red Sox-Yankees. So we'll see. And, of course, there will be some national games. You'll get the Saturday night game on Fox and, of course, the ESPN Sunday night game. So kind of same deal. With the Yankees and Dodgers like that. So this time will be the Yankees-Red Sox national game. Now, in terms of fans in the stands, I don't know how the crowds are going to be just because people still feel trepidatious about the air quality. The skies are blue in New York, great, but still, you taste it a little bit. You taste that cedar wood in the mouth. So we'll see how that turns out. Now, around baseball, too, just worth mentioning. Not to want to harp on it or but Jacob deGrom, unfortunately, just really bad luck career. Originally, he was put on the 60-day IL with Texas, and then it turns out now he's going to need Tommy John surgery. So it just never ends with deGrom. And, of course, Mets made the right call there. When he's on there, he's probably the greatest pitcher in the game. Just cannot stay healthy. And, again, maybe he's just overthrown with his fastball and a slider, and that's why he keeps hurting himself. But Texas gambled on him for 5 years for $185 million, and now they're going to pay for it. So he's going to be going under the knife, be done for the rest of this season. Probably a large majority next season. So deGrom will see you, in 2025 probably, or maybe late 2024 at best. So just unfortunate for him. And even though he's a great pitcher, is he going to be a Hall of Famer? I don't know. He's a good quality pitcher, but you also got to put in the time. You got to put in the innings. You got to be there on the mound enough. And I don't know. So unfortunately, his career just, keeps taking these road bumps. So we'll see how that goes. So Yankees a little underwhelming, but you knew this was going to happen with Judge out of the lineup, and the Yankees is going to have to hold down the fort, and the fans not freak out like they did, a month ago when the Yankees struggled with Judge out. And hopefully this toe thing, it's a strained ligament. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, and just get him off his feet for a while and put him in a boot. And just hopefully there's nothing that really hinders him for the rest of the season. Again, he's an outfielder, and a lot of times they play him in center field times too. So he has to cover a lot of ground, he needs to run, he needs to make his diving plays and all that stuff. So hopefully that toe heals and they can move on from here. So Yankees move on, 10 games over 500. So it's a good place, good place you want to be. And you always go for the next level. So next, you shoot for 15 games over 500, then 20, then 25. And that's when you're kind of at top of your game there. But Yankees still kind of struggling, in the middle of their third place just because the AL East is so tough. And just go because I mentioned our old friend Alex Manoah. Go again. He's been had his beef with Cole. Turns out he needs to now go to AAA because he's just been so terrible. So not going to laugh at deGrom, but we'll laugh at Alex Manoah for being a failure. Catch you next time.